Welcome back, everybody, to the Metal Command podcast. Tony here with you. And I have Kragen Lum back on the show. Just talked about him, just talked about how great the track that they have up on YouTube, Son of My Hand, sounds, and have an upcoming live album called Bleed the World Live, which I think is just sounds fantastic. And I'm really excited to have you here. So let's talk about this live record you have coming out.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony. We recorded every single show on our tour that we did with Overkill in 2023. Mm-hmm. And we recorded both the band and the audience. And then we scoured through all of the shows to find the best performance of each song or something special for each song. And we worked on kind of compiling it, pulling it all together from all the different shows, and got everything set up, and Zeus mixed it, and it sounds incredible. It sounds amazing, and we're super stoked because I grew up listening to live albums, and part of the experience of listening to the live album is the audience reaction and the audience participation and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I've listened to some recent live albums, and there's no audience, they didn't record it, or whatever, and it's kind of it just loses something. There's those classic live albums Speak of the Devil and Tribute and Live After Death, and I mean those have. There's a feeling that you get when you listen to it, and so we wanted to try and capture that in a more modern, live record.
By Tribute, I'm assuming you're talking about the Randy Rhoads Ozzy Osbourne live album. Okay, I just want to make sure that was my first release by Ozzy, and that album, it ended up getting me hooked onto him. But I remember. It's funny you mentioned that record because I remember the audience reaction. I remember. A lot of that live album really getting me into that. And in fact, I probably wouldn't like live records if it weren't for that. So it's a pretty, and I think part of it was recorded in Cleveland. I could be wrong though.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was the rumor. Nobody really knows, but so it's cool. And I think you picked a great single, Son of My Hand. I think that's probably one of my favorite songs off of Empire of the Blind. I think Empire of the Blind went down some avenues that Heathen never had before, and I think that's one of those tracks that really, honestly, is probably one of my top 2 or 3 on the album.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, what's interesting is it's not the most streamed song or whatever, play-wise. Yeah. But when we play live, the crowd is really into it and participates, as you can hear in the live video and watching the video. And it's great, energy exchange between the band and audience. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we wanted to kind of lead off with that. Sure. And, we've got another song that'll sort of be featured and another music video, another live video to go with another song from the record. So it came out great. We've got at least one song from every album. We were able to find an extra song that wasn't on our usual Overkill tour, tour set list. We had a couple of off-date shows that we did in the U.S. with Exhorder. So we pulled "Set Me Free" in from one of those shows, and it came out really good, man.
Yeah, you played "Goblin's Blade," which is actually one of my favorite tracks off of that album. Classic song, definitely.
That seems to be the fan favorite from that first record.
Absolutely, it's my favorite from that album, honestly. When I looked at the track list, I was pretty excited for that. So so you have this available. It's for pre-order. It does ship, according to the website, March 14th. But you have it on red. You have it on red vinyl. You have a really cool slip mat that you have available for it, CD, a couple cool T-shirts, and if you want to save a little money, you want everything there, you can buy the whole You Can Have It All bundle type thing going on. So
the You Can Have It All bundle is only available in the Heathen store.
Correct.
So yeah, and the vinyl is it's a transparent red. You can't really tell from the way it's presented, but
Right.
it's going to look really cool. I'm stoked on it.
When you're recording a live record like that, and I know a lot of bands might, will record live albums from like around. I mean, how painstaking is it to go through all of those shows and then be like, hey, pick out what's the best performance. Like, for example, let's say you play 50 shows. You got 50 concerts to go through. Do you do it like, do you go through 50 versions of the song and pick out the best of that 50? Do you go through each show individually? Like, how did you guys go about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to go through, and there are going to be some things where like there's a technical glitch, or like, somebody's wireless cut out, or, I mean, there's any number of like problems that can happen during a live show.
Yeah.
So not all of them are going to be usable. You find the ones where everything is usable, and then basically just kind of scour through it and see, okay, where was the magic, So for example, like we had, there's one show where I think there are like 4 songs from it, I think, from the Houston show where we were just on fire, like that particular night for whatever reason. And the audience was also on fire. It's one thing if we're playing and the audience isn't there with us, or vice versa. Sometimes there was a great audience, but like something happened, somebody dropped a pick or a stick, or the mic cut out, anything. Mm-hmm. So, it's basically that was what really kind of took us a long time, was kind of filtering out all of the stuff and finding the best ones, and then going in and, basically like when the show's recorded, it's the whole thing. So you have to go in and you have to cut it up and find just the song and get all those files, and,
right.
So there's a lot of work kind of piecing it all together. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you did a great job. From the song that I've heard, I think the mix sounds great. The sound of, just everything live just comes through really nicely, actually. Hey, everybody. Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video. And if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.